Oh, Ripple is buying a stablecoin service. They're buying Rail, a stablecoin startup, for $200 million. This comes, of course, just a few weeks after the passage of the Genius Act, which codified the rules and regulations around stablecoin. So now it is full speed ahead for these stablecoin companies. So Ripple has picked up Rail. It's a payments business. They use stablecoins and banking partners to help people move their stablecoins across international borders quickly and efficiently. It's the initial promise of crypto. It's what we were always told crypto was going to be. Rail raised a 10.4 million Series A last July with Galaxy Ventures leading the round. They were previously called Layer 2 Financial, if that means anything to you. And they reported earlier this year that they now control 10% of the world's B2B stablecoin payments, a value of about $3.6 billion.
Yeah, this just shows you there was so much potential lost in the last decade of crypto being this underground technology. And why was it underground? Well, regulations were not prepared for this. And so we talk about regulations. Regulations can be good for technologists. And this stablecoin regulation is a perfect example. So now we talk all the time, we have to get rid of regulations. We have to get rid of regulations.
Right, yeah.
And now we're sitting here saying, well, wait a second. The entire industry has been enabled by a new set of regulations. What you need is a balance, Lon. You need to be able to say these regulations are old, antiquated, and do not apply to this new technology. Therefore, we're going to come up with a new series of them. What people do with regulations is they do regulatory capture. They use them to keep their market share as opposed to enable new markets to exist. Say what you will about different administrations, 45, 46. I just like to refer to them by numbers. So you take the names out, it kind of frees people's, people are, you said it really well the other day in our group chat that people were in a psychosis or something.
Oh, Facebook psychosis, social media psychosis. I do.
Yeah, explain your thesis because this stuck with me so perfectly.
Sometimes you hear people speak, and just by the way they're talking, I feel like you could tell. Not only my real personal pet theory is not only you could tell they spend too much time on social media. I think sometimes you could tell what social media platform they spend too much time on. Like based on the way some people speak and the way they present arguments and their understanding, you're like, this person reads tweets all day. All their information is coming from these bite-sized sound bite. Like they heard a slogan or a phrase that sounds good. They really don't know exactly what it means, but they saw that on Twitter. And then Facebook, we were watching a video. It was from Representative Mike Flood, who is a Nebraska Republican congressman from Lincoln, Nebraska. And he had a town hall this week he was getting yelled at by his constituents. It was very lively. And we were watching a video of a woman yelling at him. But she was upset about so many different things at once. She was yelling at him about like 8 different trending stories. Like, why did Trump fire the Bureau of Labor Statistics guy? Why is this tariff happening? What about that? What about that? And it's like, this is not her own these are not things that she's upset about. She was reading about this on Facebook, and she
might have been on Drudge Report or whatever her For You feed is.
And she's getting these different Facebook articles that she read mixed up, and she's not quite clear on exactly how it all fits together, the overall narrative. And you see this all the time, where people will use these catchphrases or they'll refer to something like the laptop from hell. And you're like, unpack that. Do you really know what we're talking about? Or have you just seen this go by a whole bunch of times and now you're upset about it because you read about it? And I'm using some of these examples. I think this is true of people on the left or the right. This is not partisan to me. Like, I think this affects millions of Americans from every political
And then the second you try to unpack it and ask those same people the question, okay, what should the regulations be for crypto? They don't have anything. I spent years on this podcast saying, here's a way to have a framework for crypto. I said, have a sandbox. You can raise up to $10 million from up to 10,000 people, and you can build a project. They sign a waiver. You have to know who they are. And then if it grows to 100 million in value, you have to register with one of these agencies, and then you have to have insurance. And in order to even be in the $10 million sandbox, you apply with the SEC for a sandbox license. And then those people who want to be in it have to take a basic test, like a basic accreditation test that allows them to play in the sandbox. And then on the SEC website, you have, here are the sandbox projects. Bored apes, this, that, the other thing. And you can go play in the sandbox if you answer these 10 questions about diversification, if you have a proper bank account, a social security number, so it's not money laundering. And if you lose your money, you knew you were going to lose it, right?
Yeah.
And I just had all these like very simple ideas, and people would be like, "So you hate crypto? Oh, you want to destabilize it?" And it was the same thing where they had been programmed to have a framework without just saying from first principles, would it be great to pay 0% fee when we sent each other money?